UFC 316 this Saturday. I don't know how I feel about this card. There's some big fights and some fights that I'm not too bothered about, but we're going to go through. So early prelims, not a lot I'm bothered about at all, to be honest. There's one fight, and that is Ariana Lipski versus Wang Kong. I mean, she is a knockout artist. She did lose her last fight by submission. I still think she's a big contender. She's active. She's got a record of 7-1 now. Sorry. Lipski's been around for a while. She's like 18-10, 17-10. Like, she's got lots of fights under her belt. She's a big name. I don't know how this one goes. I mean, Kong just struggled with a ground fight, and Lipski has got fantastic jiu-jitsu. But if Kong can hit her, that Wang will put her out. She's got some serious power. Her debut was unbelievable. I'm going to go Lipski on this one. It could be tight. This is one I feel like I could get wrong, because, like I said, if Wang catches her, she's a serious knockout artist. So that's the early prelims. Then we're going to go to just the normal prelims. There's not many fights in here that I'm bothered about. Sergey Spivak versus Waldo Acosta. Not a bad fight. I've got to go Spivak on that. Waldo Acosta's good, 13-1. Sergey Spivak 17-5, but he has fought the much harder competition. So that's quite an interesting one. I'm gonna go Spivak on that, but again, with those heavyweights, all it takes is one punch. But yeah, I'll go Sergey Spivak on that one. And then the top of the prelim is Bruno Silva versus Joshua Van. I've got to go Joshua Van on that. I'm a big Joshua Van fan. I think he's fantastic. I think he's absolutely fantastic. He's exciting to watch, explosive, good all round. So I'm going to go Joshua Van on that. And I'm going to go for a stoppage. I think he's going to get a TKO. I'll go round 2 TKO Joshua Van. And then we're on to the main card. Was supposed to have Marlon Vera versus Mario Batista, but that's been cancelled and rescheduled. You're then going into the welterweights. So the first fight now on the main card is Vicente Luque versus Kevin Holland. It's a great fight. It's a great fight. I love Kevin Holland. I love his fight style. I love his personality. He's coming off that fantastic win over Gunnar Nelson. That was a great fight. Kevin Holland showed that he can hang on the ground, and he nearly had Nelson out at the end of the second or the first. Nearly had him out cold. But Luque's no joke. That's a tough fight. My heart says Holland, but my brain says Luque, so I've got to go Luque on that one. I don't know if he'll be able to finish Holland. Holland is a tough guy. We then go down to the Bantamweight, and we have Mario Batista. Fantastic, 15-2, absolutely explosive. Not too much power, but he's coming up against a UFC debutant, which is Patchy Mix. Let me bring up Patchy Mix's details here, because he is no joke. He's a serious fighter. It does annoy me though, because he's got the same nickname as Cody Garbrandt, No Love. Serious, 31 years old, bantamweight, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, amateur wrestler. Let's get some of his bits up. What we got here? Sheer dog. Yeah, I know people have been excited to watch this guy. So he's 20 wins, 1 loss, 2 by KO, 13 submissions, 5 decisions. So he's obviously fighting Mario Batista, who is 15-2, also no joke at all. So obviously he's come over from Bellator. So some of the names he's fought are not small names at all. Magomedov, Sergio Pettis. Who else we got down here on this list? Yuki Matoya, Terrell Galloway, Farad Muhammad, Tony Gravely. You know, he's been in there with some pretty decent names. Obviously, I know the Bellator is not as stacked as UFC. It's a different level of competition. But I think Patchy gets it done. I think he gets it done. He's no joke. Like I do watch Bellator. I keep up with their events. I've got to go Patchy, and I think he will get a submission. I think it's going to be one of those debuts where he sort of sets the UFC alight and everyone's suddenly talking about Patchy Mix. So I am going Patchy on this one. The fight after that is middleweight. It is a rescheduled fight. It should have happened about a month ago now, which is Kevin Gastelum against Joe Pfeiffer. Absolute concrete hands. Kevin Gastelum's getting on a bit now, and Joe Pfeiffer is an absolute monster. I've got to go Joe Pfeiffer, and I've got to go knockout. I've got to. His power is unbelievable. He could touch you with a skim shot, and it will put your lights out. And yeah, Kevin's out of his prime now. I think that Adesanya fight took a lot out of him. So yeah, I'm going Joe Pfeiffer, and I'm going round 1 knockout for that one. We then go to the co-main event. Someone in this fight has to prove themselves because they've had a lot of pressure put on their shoulders. It is the women's Bantamweight title. Juliana Pena defending it against the absolutely stacked, jacked wrestling phenom that is Kayla Harrison. Juliana Pena keeps surprising me. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not a fan of her personally, and I'm not keen on her fighting style. I think her stand-up's very sloppy, but she can get results. Look at what she did to Amanda Nunes. Look at what she did to who was her last fight? Oh my god, it's the girl with the tattoos. I think it's Amanda Nunes' partner. Oh, what is her name? Oh, this is going to annoy me so much. Raquel Pennington. That's the one, Raquel Pennington. Got the victory, and she's the champ again. I don't see her beating Kayla Harrison, but Kayla Harrison was brought into UFC to storm this division, and so far she has. She did fight an older Holly Holm, but she dominated her, absolutely dominated her. And Holly Holmes is dangerous, prime or out of her prime. But I think Kayla gets it done. I don't see Juliana Pena beating her. Kayla Harrison is just a different breed, and I think this is her moment. You know, she was brought into UFC to do this. She was coming to storm this division, and so far she has. I'm just going to look up who she's fought. I think she's had 2 or 3 fights. I know, obviously, we had the Holly Holmes one. Right, here we go. Yeah, so 2 fights. She had her debut was Holly Holm, and that was a submission in round 2. Like I said, she dominated that fight. She fought Ketlin Vieira, who just won the other day and is a very, very good fighter. That was a decision, and now she's got the chance to fight Juliana Pena, and I think she wins. I think she gets a round 4 stoppage. So Kayla Harrison, Joe Pfeiffer and Patchy. They're my ones for the main. And there was one other fight we're going to the main. I've forgotten it already. Oh, for Sinte Luque, I think head tells me he'll beat Kevin Holland. So I'm going to go for Sinte Luque on that. We are now on to the main event. And this is the one that interests me because I am a massive fan of one of these people. I watched him come up from the Contender Series. You know, he was like a highlight reel for a while. I like his personality. I like his fighting style. And I like his sort of comedy style. But he has said, no more sugar, only Sean. I am talking, of course, Sean O'Malley is going to try and reclaim the title off of Merab. It's a tough fight. Obviously, they headlined that massive event, the Sphere, the one in Las Vegas, which was unbelievable. I think O'Malley's like one of the most followed UFC fighters in the whole sport. Definitely on this card. I think he's got like nearly 5 million followers or something crazy. He said he's reined in all the jokes, he's reined in all the costumes and smoking and all of that, and he's brought back Killer Sean. But Merab is no walk in the park. That guy is going to put pressure on you for 25 minutes. He's got the longest control time, not only in the Bantamweight, but I think in the whole of UFC. He's like 1 hour and 16 minutes. My only problem with Merab, got no problem with the jiu-jitsu, got no problem with the wrestling. My problem is he has 0 killer instinct. He's definitely one of the most boring fighters out there. I don't think he gets any finishes, really. I'm actually intrigued because I know he's 19-4. He's got a great record. But if you actually look at like his finishes, his KOs and submissions, I think it's appalling. I generally think it's due. Yeah, that is awful. Like 19 wins, 4 losses, only 3 KOs, 1 submission. That's 4 finishes out of 19. That's 15 decisions he's gone to. But he gets the job done, and that's what matters in this game. It doesn't matter if it's pretty or whatever it is. He gets results. Look at what he did to Umar. You know, Umar is, again, an absolute monster. But my heart says Sean O'Malley, my head says Merab gets it done again. This time I'm not going to listen to my brain. I'm going to go with my heart on this one. I'm going to go Sean O'Malley. I really hope he gets the finish. I just think he's a good character. He's marketable. Maybe not as active as he should be, but I think after that loss, it sort of, you know, he went from the real high point to now he's just another number in that division. Yeah, I would love to see O'Malley get the win. But if he doesn't, I also kind of like the idea of him going up a weight class because he's very big for the Bantamweight division. And I think there's a lot of good fights at the weight above him. It's just how he feels with that added 10 pounds. So yeah, I'm going to listen to my heart on this one. I'm going to go Sean O'Malley, Kayla Harrison, Joe Pfeiffer, Patchy, and for Sinte Luque. So that's UFC 316. I believe it's in New Jersey this Saturday. Let me know what you think. Does anyone agree with me? I'm going Sean O'Malley. I think it's going to be a decision. So Sean O'Malley decision. Kayla Harrison, 4th round stoppage, submission. Joe Pfeiffer, 1st round. Patchy, 2nd round submission. No, Yeah, second round. I was going to change it to first, but I'm going to go second. And I'm going to go for Sinte Luque decision over Kevin Holland. I don't think he'll get the finish. But, you know, the main card's pretty good. The rest of the card is a bit hit and miss with a couple of little bangers thrown in there. So my two for the prelims was Joshua Van and Wang Kong versus Lipski. But yeah, let me know what you think. Am I well off, or are people on the same sort of line as me? What do you think of the card? Is it a good card? Obviously, I will be doing a reaction once we've watched the event. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. You know, I'm really starting to try and build this up. But listen, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for listening to my opinion. Please let me know what you think. Let's get a little discussion going. And yeah, I'll be tuning back in the next few days. But yeah, sorry for all the delays and stuff. Like, life has just been a bit hectic. You know, we're a man down at work, but the workload hasn't shrunk. I've got private jobs coming out all the time at the moment. So, you know, I'm working my job, doing my private jobs, had my birthday, got family life. It's just been a bit hectic. But I appreciate you guys checking in. Thank you so much. Please like, comment and subscribe. And I'll speak to you guys soon. Cheers.